Good morning, students. Mrs. Fernanda here. Are you ready for your spelling test? I am. I think you're going to do great. Go ahead and make sure you have a pencil and a paper, and if you don't, pause the video right here. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let me use my glasses today. The first word is brook. We crossed the brook and made our camp. Brook. Number 2 is plowed. The farmer plowed the fields. Now, when you think about which ow to use, think about the base word. The third word is mountain. They skied down the mountain. Mountain. Remember to pause if I'm going too quickly. Make sure you do your best. Number 4 is replied. I replied that I could not attend. Replied. Number 5 is babies. The babies were happy in their strollers. Babies. Number 6 is flower. A rose is a flower with thorns. Flower. Number 7 is married. For their honeymoon, the married couple went on a cruise. Married. Number 8, allow. The teachers allow us to talk quietly. Allow. Thinking about the ow sound, where is it in the word? Which one are you going to use? Number 9 is activities. There were a lot of different activities at the fair. Remember with this one, you want to really think about each syllable because there are 4. And then think about that rule, consonant Y, and what are you going to do? Number 10 is copying. We will be copying our homework assignments from the board. Copying. Think again about the base word first, and then ing. Number 11, picture. The picture fit perfectly into the frame. Picture. Number 12, I know I'm going kind of fast, so remember, pause if you need to. Stories. My grandfather tells wonderful stories about his childhood. Stories. Number 13, supplies. I need to get supplies before school begins. Supplies. Number 14, listen carefully. The word is streets. The downtown streets potholes were filled last month. The downtown streets potholes were filled last month. Number 15, room. There is plenty of room for another suitcase. Room. Number 16, sugar. Some people like sugar in their tea. Some people like sugar in their tea. Sugar. Number 17, conditions. The road conditions in the mountains were poor. Conditions. Spell that one by thinking about each individual syllable. Number 18, understood. I understood that you would be joining us. Understood. Number 19, nature. She is by nature a kind-hearted person. Nature. Number 20, worry. I worry that I may be late for the concert. Worry. Number 21. This is an extra credit, these last two. 21 is alphabet. The alphabet was posted above the bulletin board. Alphabet. And last one for today, groceries. We put the bag of groceries in the trunk of the car. This is a tough one. We went over this the last time, but it is a tough one. Groceries. Okay, pause the video here if you feel like you need to go and just proofread, check over your words, make sure you did your best spelling, because now I'm going to share the key. So if you haven't paused to check over, do it now. Okay. All right, let's go over these relatively quickly. Our first word was brook. We see that O sound there. The next word was plowed. The farmers plowed the field. I asked you to think about the base word, which is plow. I'm going to grab my pencil real quick. Which was plow, that O-W, because the base word is at the end of that sound, that word. Mountain, we have the ow sound there at the beginning, and then we have this really difficult spelling of ton, mountain. Replied, we changed the Y to an I and added the ED according to our rules. Babies, consonant Y. We wanted to add ES, so we changed the Y to an I and added ES. Flower, we have the ow sound in the end of the first syllable, flower. So we're going to go with the OW instead of the OU spelling of ow. Married, we know we have the RY, we have the RY. We changed the Y to an I before we added the ED. Allow, look at that, we have two L's. If you split it apart, we have the ow sound at the end of the word. It's going to be spelled OW. Activities, I asked you to do that in syllables. Remember that C, we're going to use the C because there's more to come as far as syllables go. T, you can hear that short I sound there. V, short I sound again. And T, that T-Y would have said that. We've changed the Y to an I and added ES. Our next word is copying. Here we have the consonant Y, but because we're adding the ing, which starts with an I, we can't change the Y to an I or we'd have a double I situation. Picture, please, I hope you remember the C, the pick sound, and then chur. I think you probably all are pros at spelling the chur sound by now, T-U-R-E. Stories, we have R, consonant Y, we're going to change the Y to an I and add the ES. Supplies, we would have had L, consonant L-Y, change the Y to an I and add ES. Streets, this was an interesting sentence. The downtown streets potholes were filled last month. So it was plural first, plural streets, all the downtown streets. And then it was also possessive because the potholes. I wonder if you got those. I hope you did. Room, we just had that double O-U sound there to think about. Sugar, tough word, yummy but tough. Just an S, U, and then G-A-R. Conditions, I hope you spelled that in syllables as well. Con, we hear that the O is the spelling for our schwa sound there. Di, you can hear that short I sound really well. And then shun, and of course it was the conditions of the roads were icy or something like that, were poor. And then we had the S on the end for the plural, shun. Okay, under, and then stood with our sound at the end there. Nature, we know that one by now, I think. Long A sound, nay, and then chur. Worry, double R, re-E, long E sound is made with our Y. And our extra credit, oh, look at this. Alphabet, the F sound is made with our PH like an elephant. Alpha, Bet. I bet you spelled that right. Okay, and then groceries. Groceries is hard. Some people say groceries and some people say groceries. I wonder which you do. The C is the culprit there. You either say groceries or groceries. This would have been a Y. We're going to replace that Y with an I and add the ES. All right, pause there if you need to take a longer look at those. Otherwise, be safe and be well, and I will see you next week.